wish to thank the organizers of this IHC for having invited me as the chief guest. I have many dear friends here, and most of them I know him personally. It's a pleasure to interact with him. I'm just wondering how come a guy who is 77 years old, who started his career in 1970-71, talking on the topic which Amit Malik, my dear friend, has said it earlier, most of the guys do not know what they're talking about AI, and some of them pretend they know it, but virtually 5% know about the AI and its impact, okay? So if you consider that, where do I stand? Okay, so I don't know anything, so it's easy to talk about it. So that's how I try to put it. Just leave aside the lighter side. I think I always say it, and please bear with me. I have not changed my name. I have not changed my profession, but my company's name has changed 5 times. Okay, in the company where I worked, whether you call Horlicks, Beecham, SmithKline Beecham, GlaxoSmithKline, ultimately to Hindustan Unilever. So that is my story. So when we started in 71, can you imagine about iPhone or a smartphone? Doesn't arise. I have never seen any email till 1997, maybe. And I've seen a phone, mobile phone, maybe 97, 98. So 27, 28 years, I have worked through, when your headquarters in London, in the 80s is a British company. If you send for an approval, we used to send on Tuesday, and it will reach them on Wednesday. They will send the approval on Friday, and we act on next Monday. Okay? So we are talking about speed, agility, communication. In today's world, what will happen? If you send a message, if you don't get any response, within then, a guy like GP Rao will send you 10 reminders. What happened? See, I'm getting some reminders from some of my friends. They asked me to clear one draft for my foundation. 3 messages have already come. You are not yet cleared. So can you imagine what is it important? Before we talk about automation, its impact on people, disruption of work, humanization of it, it's very important to understand where you stand, what was the context earlier, and what is the context today. I'm reminded by one definition of John Cotter on leadership, which is always I quote. It's a very succinct, very briefly described. I think people talked about leadership culture, which is very important when you're talking about these topics. A leader is one who can cope up with change. A simple definition. I mean, you can give you hundreds of definitions on leadership. The second aspect he said was, a manager is one who manages the complexities. I think you see, cope up with change. I think that is the key. How AI is impacting the work-life balance has become, as I said, GP work-life integration. There can't be work-life balance today. I can only say the work-life integration. Similarly, high-tech and high-touch, it's a balancing act. Some people can balance it well. Some people can struggle. If you think that I cannot do it, you will never be able to do it. Now people like me are forced to do it because either WhatsApp or a PPT, or you're going for a, thank you, or going for a airport. Now you see Digi Yatra, you how to handle it. If I struggle, a friend like GP will help, but you make efforts. I think, simple from there, talking about the AI, I just wanted to say there are many advantages. I don't want to say the temptation is go and see ChatGPT, you will get all the items. But what is important? AI, automation, technology, advancement is very important. But the most important aspect, as the people leaders are, I'm not talking about HR per se. I'm talking about as a business leaders, all of us are. We have done the people's business, which is a very important, and others do different jobs, different portfolios. I think how do you leverage and take advantage of the technology which has done? If you think half glass full, there are many advantages. If you think is half glass empty, you can never embrace. Sometimes HR, especially HR guys, suffer from this challenge because they think that they are not used to the technology, so they can't. Technology plays very important role everywhere, including on people's management talent. I mean, there is no question. I used to be under the mistaken impression about 15, 20 years back when people like Pankaj Bansal used to say, this is going to change. Arey, ye nahi hoga, hamara zamana mein. So, ho gaya. I think we have adopted. Some of them adopted well, some of them are still struggling to adopt. But the fact remains, it's imperative, it needs to be there, and it will be there. The only thing is, if we think, that's my personal view, if we think that technology is going to replace the human intelligence forever, I think, I have my doubts. I think it can help you to a large extent. It can augment, it can complement, it can support you to get the best decisions. Because I come from a pharma and a healthcare background. I just want to give you one example how technology has helped to leverage the possible positive outcomes for this. Coming from that, just imagine COVID vaccine. Any vaccine, technically, if you go and ask any scientist from any pharma company, it says it will take 4 years to get a final approval. It is not given. You may do trials, but you never do it. But how come during COVID, the people have done it in 6 months or 9 months? There are two aspects. One is the human talent. They have developed that technology. But through technology, they could resolve it. Without the combination of human element, this technology couldn't have been done. We couldn't have taken the risk of getting approval in 6 to 9 months. This is one of the best examples I can say. I can say many advantages. You can say increased efficiency and productivity, very data-driven decision making. It's not subjective. You can say enhanced employee experiences. You can say cost saving. But there are other aspects also. There are some, you lack the human touch. 20 years back when I was talking to my colleagues who were posted overseas, I used to talk to them because they feel lonely in different countries. As a HR guy, I used to talk to them. Some of them said, sir, we wanted to have a video call with me because we want to have at least the feel. We are not able to personally, face-to-face, we can't talk, especially the guys who are in Nigeria or somewhere else, they feel lost. I think that human touch you can't avoid, it can't replace. But to some extent, you can minimize that sort of importance by virtue of being that sort of a process what GP was talking about, alluded earlier, which makes a difference. I just want to see how totally human technology cannot replace. This is a case I've very recently studied, so I would like to share with this. It has been there for long. I thought it's a WhatsApp group gossip. Then I spoke to the concerned person in Tata's, and Arun Moira has confirmed to me that it was a true story. This is the story which we need to hear. Just after the Second World War, where Germany was devastated, J.R.D. Tata and Mulgaonkar, who was the managing director later of Tata Locomotives, other than Telco, have visited Munich to inspect some of the diesel engine companies from where they can get some technical skills so that they can have a good contract with the Indian Railways to supply locomotives. So when we went there, they found the Munich, Germany was totally devastated, but the guys came to receive them, and what they said was, look, we can't give machinery, we can't give technology, we don't have, everything is destroyed, but we have the skilled human experts who are sitting here, they don't have a job, they are suffering. Please take them and treat them well. They will train your people exceedingly well. So J.R.D. Tata, that is where the leadership comes in. And Dr. Mulgaonkar said, yes, we will look after them, you don't worry. They came in 46, 47. Another challenge was, at that time, British government was not allowing any German company to come to India. So these guys said, don't worry about the contract. It is a oral understanding. They came here, and they served for 3 years. And they've trained, and Telco was partly, these guys are responsible for the growth of Telco. It was the human skills, human intelligence, leveraging on the technology and experiences they have. This is the leadership which played an important role. 1950, Telco has entered into a contract with Daimler and Benz for doing the trucks and vehicles. So this is how the collaboration started. The important aspect is, after 5 years, J.R.D. Tata went and gave a check to the German company. Those guys were surprised, why you are giving? You have treated us well, we trained them. No, you have given an immense value to our organization. This is our gratitude to you for the done you have done. That one, which was done in 1955, was talked about even in 1975 and is been published in a book, and then articles were written. What does it mean? Technology is important, automation is important, advanced aspects we need to be aware and we need to utilize, leverage on it, take advantage of it. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, one thing makes a difference. It is ultimately, it is not just mere technology, AI, whatever you call, but it is how you, as a human being, as a leaders, how you leverage and create a culture of collaborative spirit and also leverage on it to get advantages it rather than trying to involve in unethical or privacy or data-based issues. As long as you do it, Tata's case is a great example. Before I conclude, I just want to say I was sharing a WhatsApp message with GP. It's a good, I don't know the authenticity, but it proved to be. He said in 30s, the priority, who was the priority in 30s? Families, later friends, later classmates, later colleagues, internet, online, not there. Okay, slowly started evolving. In today's, 70% is on internet. What happened to family has come down. Friends have come down. Bars and restaurants have come down. Temples have come down. Churches have come down. Mosques have come down. What does it mean? We are totally engrossed and we can't keep quiet. I'm just wondering how, without a mobile phone, if it is getting charged, how I feel bad. I don't know how many years we have done. 27 years of my work life I have spent without internet. But how can I do it? This is a reality of life. You can't be in the whole world. But when this world, when you come here, you need to balance it. You can't overdo anything. You can't become mechanical. Where this is the where application, whether J.R.D. Tata did it in 1946, today also the same principles, we carry this with a different application. It's a question of approaching it. Agility has increased, you need to be more smart, you need to be agile. These are all fine. But ultimately, whether a vaccine has been created or whether J.R.D. Tata's case or anything else or the research what is said, these are all the facts which we have to take on. To conclude, there was a World Economic Forum survey. 3 things they said is important if you want to really enhance your growth of the organization. One is the technology, second one is data, the third one is talent. You see, if you have only data, this is a World Economic Forum, Accenture Global Report. He said if technology and data will take you 4% premium, if you add talent, it will become 11%. So, delta 7. So this is what it's important. So it's all been reinforced. It's a matter of little bit of balancing. You should not have a very loaded view or a biased view about only technology or only human being. It's a question of balancing. It may be 4, tomorrow it may be 5. But the fact remains, all are important. It's require a collaborative effort, but ultimately it is the people, it is the leadership, it is the culture of the organization, it's how you drive the agenda, why under some companies the growth is phenomenal. What Nadella has done, he said, so I want to leave one message in the end. Please be under the illusion, some of them are very highly tech and all that, under the illusion, I know it all. We don't know much. That's what Amit has said has started. But try to learn it all. I think if you have the learn it all syndrome, anything you can adopt, you can have a balanced approach of high tech and high touch. High touch is important, high tech is important, but the challenge is how to do it. Some of them can do it well, which Nadella is doing it brilliantly. He adopted the view of said, learn it all. So if you start learning, others also leveling. So tone at the top. At the important, how leaders drive the agenda to make it happen. If you have that passion, tone at the top, then everything will go into the right frame. So these are my few insights based on my experience. Thank you for your patient listening and all the best.